Point 1, how are you feeling today? The question that breaks more relationships than cheating ever will. She asked you one simple question. How are you feeling today? And you said, I'm fine. And she smiled, nodded, changed the subject. But inside, something shifted, not dramatically, not like a fight, more like a door quietly closing. That's the thing nobody tells you about women who are emotionally invested in you. They don't leave loud. They leave in silence, one I'm fine at a time. Here's what she was actually asking. She didn't want your schedule. She didn't want a weather report on your day. She wanted to know what was happening inside you, the stuff you don't post about, the stuff you barely admit to yourself. Were you stressed? Were you carrying something heavy? Were you secretly excited about something, but playing it cool? She wanted that version of you, not the edited one, the real one. See, when a woman is emotionally invested in you, truly invested, she starts caring about your inner world the same way she cares about her own. She thinks about you when you're not around. She notices when your voice sounds different. She remembers what you said 3 weeks ago that you've already forgotten. And when she asks, how are you feeling? She is opening a door. She's saying, I want to know you, not just what you do. Who you are. Most guys walk right past that door, not because they're bad people, because nobody ever taught them that emotions are a language. And she is fluent, and she is trying to speak it with you. So when you say, I'm fine, she hears something completely different. She hears, I don't trust you with the real stuff. She hears, you're not someone I let in. She hears, I'm not going to give you that part of me. And she doesn't say any of that back to you. She just tucks it away, files it, and the next time she thinks about asking, she hesitates a little longer before she does. This is how emotional distance grows, not from big fights, from small moments of I'm fine stacking on top of each other like bricks. Until one day there's a wall between you two and neither of you knows exactly when it got built. The saddest part? She wasn't asking for much. She wasn't asking you to cry. She wasn't asking you to sit down for a 2-hour conversation about your feelings. She wasn't asking you to be someone you're not. She just wanted one real sentence. I'm honestly a little stressed today. I don't know, I've been in my head lately. I'm good actually, better than I've been in a while. Anything real, anything that sounds like a human being and not a robot in a suit. Because here's what happens when you actually answer honestly, even once, even small. She doesn't just hear your words. She feels something shift. She feels closer to you. She feels like she knows you in a way she didn't 5 minutes ago. That feeling of truly knowing someone is what she's been chasing this whole time, and you can give it to her with 4 words. Not I love you, and not you look beautiful, just I'm struggling a little today. Watch what she does with that. Watch how fast she moves toward you instead of away, because she's not looking for a perfect man. She's looking for a real one. And real men feel things. They just forgot they're allowed to say so. So next time she asks how you're feeling, don't perform. Don't deflect, don't default to fine. Just tell her the truth, even if it's small, even if it's messy. That's not weakness, that's exactly what she's been waiting for. Point 2, do you ever think about me? The question she's terrified to ask, but can't stop herself from asking. She already knows the answer she's hoping for. She just needs to hear you say it. Do you ever think about me? 3 seconds of silence, and then you said something like, yeah, of course, and she smiled, said, okay, cool, maybe even laughed it off, but she went home that night and replayed your answer about 40 times, not because she's crazy, because she's in deep, and deep feels terrifying when you don't know if the other person is standing in the same water. Here's what's really happening when she asks this. She thinks about you constantly, not in a scary way, in the way that a song comes on and she immediately wants to send it to you, in the way that something funny happens and her first Instinct is to tell you in the way that she catches herself smiling at her phone before she even opens your message. She is living with you in her head rent-free all day, every day, and she has no idea if she's alone up there. So she asks, "Do you ever think about me?" What she's really saying is, am I as present in your world as you are in mine? And this question only comes from one place: investment. Real, deep, scary investment. The kind where she's already in before she meant to be. The kind where pulling back would actually hurt. She's not asking to be clingy. She's not asking to trap you. She's asking because she's falling and she wants to know if you're falling too, or if she's the only one in the air. Now here's where most guys go wrong. They answer the question instead of feeling it. Yeah, of course I do. Technically correct, emotionally empty. She asked for connection and you handed her a checkbox. What she needed wasn't confirmation. She needed evidence. She needed to feel it. There is a massive difference between "I think about you" and "I passed that coffee shop we went to last month and I literally stopped walking for a second." One is an answer, the other is proof, and proof is the only currency that works here because she can't see inside your head. She can't feel what you feel. All she has is what you give her. And if what you give her is vague and generic, her brain will fill in the blanks, and it won't fill them in with good things. That's just how anxiety works in someone who cares too much. The less you give her, the more her mind invents, and what it invents is always worse than the truth. So give her the truth, the specific, detailed, embarrassingly real truth. Tell her about the moment you heard that song. Tell her about the time something made you laugh and you thought of her immediately. Tell her about the random Tuesday afternoon when you had 5 free minutes and she was the first place your mind went. Those moments exist. You just never thought to say them out loud because nobody told you that this is what intimacy actually is. Not grand gestures, not expensive dates. It's telling someone, "You were in my head today and I just thought you should know." That sentence costs you nothing, and to her it's everything. It tells her she's not alone in this. It tells her the feeling is mutual. It tells her that whatever is growing between you two, it's growing on both sides, and when she knows that really knows it, she stops asking, not because she gave up, because she finally feels safe. The question disappears when the answer lies in your actions. So think about it. When did she cross your mind this week? What reminded you of her? What made you want to reach out? Whatever that moment was, tell her, not because she asked, because she deserves to know. She's not in this alone. That's not being soft. That's being the kind of man she can't stop thinking about. Point 3, where do you see us going? The question that separates the men who are ready from the ones who are just comfortable. She didn't ask this lightly. She thought about it for weeks, maybe months. She practiced it in her head, deleted the text 3 times before finally saying it out loud. Where do you see us going? And the room got a little heavier, not because it's a trap, but because it's the most honest thing she's said to you in a long time. And she said it because staying quiet was starting to cost her more than asking. Here's what you need to understand. By the time a woman asks this question, she already knows what she wants. She's not confused. She's not exploring options. She has looked at you, looked at her life, and decided that she wants you in it, long-term, for real. She's not asking you to get down on one knee. She's not asking for a timeline or a 5-year plan. She's asking something much simpler and much scarier. Are you in this with me? That's it. That's the whole question underneath the question, because here's what her life looks like right now. She's making decisions about her career, her city, her friendships, her future, and she is trying to figure out how much space to leave for you in all of it. She wants to leave that space. She wants to factor you in. But she can't do that responsibly if she doesn't know whether you're building something with her or just enjoying the moment. And enjoying the moment is fine, but she's past that. She crossed that line a while ago, and she needs to know if you crossed it with her or if you're still standing on the other side. When you dodge this question, change the subject, make a joke, say let's just see where things go. She doesn't get frustrated. She gets quiet, and quiet from a woman who loves you is the loudest sound in the world. It means she heard you. Not your words, your avoidance, and she filed it away, added it to the collection of small moments that are slowly telling her a story she doesn't want to believe yet. You don't have to have it all figured out. That's not what she's asking for. She doesn't need a guarantee. She needs a direction. She needs to hear that when you look at your future, she's somewhere in the picture. Not perfectly placed, not planned down to the detail, just there, present, wanted, because the worst thing she can feel in this moment isn't rejection. It's uncertainty. Rejection hurts and then heals. Uncertainty just keeps hurting. It lives in the background of every good moment, whispering, but does he actually want this? So kill the uncertainty, even if your answer is incomplete, even if you're still figuring things out. Tell her that, honestly, I don't have everything figured out, but I know I want you in my life and I'm not taking this lightly. That's not a proposal. That's just a man being real, and real is all she ever wanted, because she's not asking you to be perfect. She's asking you to be present, to be intentional, to look at what you two are building and actually care about where it lands. The men who answer this question with honesty, even imperfect honesty, are the ones she stays for. The ones who avoid it, she stays a little longer hoping they'll come around, and then one day she stops hoping. And by the time you're ready, she's already gone. Point 4, how important am I to you? The question she should never have to ask, but you made her ask. Let that sit for a second. She asked you how important she is to you. She actually had to form those words, say them out loud, and wait for your answer. Do you understand what it takes for a woman to ask that, the vulnerability in that sentence, the risk? She basically just handed you her chest and said, tell me if I matter, and the reason she's asking isn't because she's needy. It's because something happened, maybe a lot of small somethings, maybe you've been a little distant, maybe you canceled on her one too many times. Maybe she watched you show up fully for everything else in your life, your job, your friends, your hobbies, and she started wondering where she ranked in all of it. She didn't want to wonder, but she couldn't help it, so she asked, and now the entire weight of what she's been carrying quietly, alone, is sitting in the air between you two. Here's the thing about this question that nobody talks about. It's not really a question, it's a confession. She's confessing that she's scared, that she's in deep and she doesn't feel secure, that she has been watching for signs and the signs haven't been clear enough, that she needs something from you, not flowers, not a date night, just the truth, plainly, directly, without her having to decode it. She is tired of decoding, and the worst thing you can do right now is give her another thing to decode. You're really important to me means nothing. She's heard those words before, from people who didn't mean them. Those words without weight are just sounds. What she needs is evidence, specific, real, something she can hold on to when the doubt creeps back in at 2 a.m. Not you matter to me? But I remember when I had that thing going on at work and I was completely overwhelmed. You were still the person I wanted to talk to at the end of that day. That's not nothing. That's you being the person I reach for when everything else is loud. That's not a speech. That's just the truth told specifically. And specific truth lands in places that generic reassurance never reaches, because here's what she's really afraid of. Not that you don't care, but that she cares more, that the gap between what she feels and what you feel is wider than she wants to admit. That she's invested at a level you haven't matched and maybe never will. That fear is exhausting to carry. And she's been carrying it quietly because she didn't want to seem like too much. She finally put it down in front of you. Pick it up not with perfect words, not with a grand gesture, just with honesty and specificity and the willingness to show her, through a real example from your real life together, that she is not imagining this, that it is mutual, that she matters in a way you can actually point to. Because she doesn't need you to be poetic. She just needs you to be real, and she needs to feel not just here, that in your world she has a place that belongs to her. Not a place she has to keep earning, a place that's already hers. Point 5. Here's your clean script for question 5 and 6. What do you think of her? The question that has nothing to do with her. She didn't ask because she's jealous. Well, maybe a little. But that's not why the words came out. She asked because in that moment, something shifted inside her. A small alarm went off. A quiet voice said, "Pay attention." And instead of sitting with it alone like she usually does, she asked, "What do you think of her?" And now you're standing there thinking this is a trick question, thinking there's a right answer and a wrong answer, and you have no idea which way the door swings. Here's the truth. It was never about the other woman, not even slightly. She doesn't actually need a full review of someone else's personality or appearance. She doesn't need you to rank people. She doesn't need honesty about whether some other woman is attractive or interesting or impressive. What she needs to know, what she's been needing to know for longer than just this moment, is whether you make her feel like she's the one you see. Not the only woman who exists, just the one who matters to you in this. That's the whole question. Do I have your attention, your real attention, not just when it's convenient, but when there are other options in the room? See, when a woman is emotionally invested in you, she becomes quietly hyper-aware. She notices things. A glance that lasted a second too long, a laugh that felt a little too easy, a name that comes up one too many times in casual conversation. She's not paranoid. She's paying attention because she cares, and caring makes you notice things you wish you didn't. And most of the time she says nothing. She processes it internally, talks herself down, tells herself she's overthinking, but sometimes it builds up enough that it comes out as a question, usually casual on the surface, loaded underneath. What do you think of her? Now here's where most guys make the mistake. They either go too honest, she seems cool, pretty smart, without reading what's actually being asked. Or they go too dismissive, I don't even notice her, she's nothing, which sounds like a lie even when it isn't. And she can feel the difference between someone who genuinely didn't notice and someone who noticed and is now overcorrecting. Both of those answers miss the point entirely, because she wasn't asking for a character assessment. She was asking for reassurance, quietly, in a way that gave her plausible deniability in case you didn't give it. So don't assess the other woman. Turn toward her, not defensively, not with a speech. Just redirect your energy back to where it belongs. Back to her. I wasn't really paying attention. You're the one I'm here with. Not dramatic, not over the top. Just clear. Clear is what cuts through the noise in her head. Clear tells her the alarm was false. Clear makes her feel stupid for worrying in the best possible way. In the way where she laughs at herself a little and feels warm instead of anxious. That's what she wanted when she asked. Not a verdict on someone else, just proof that in a room full of people, you still find your way back to her. Point 6. Can I talk to you when I'm upset? The question that tells you exactly how much she trusts you. She's not asking for a therapist. She's not asking you to fix anything. She's asking something so simple and so profound that most people hear it and completely miss what it means. Can I talk to you when I'm upset? She's asking if you are safe, not safe like harmless, safe like, can I fall apart a little in front of you and trust that you won't make it worse? Can I show you the version of me that isn't composed and put together and handling everything? Can I be messy with you? Can I cry without you getting uncomfortable? Can I say things that don't make complete sense because I'm emotional and not yet have you tried to logic me out of my own feelings? That's what she's asking. And the fact that she's asking at all, do you understand what that means? It means she chose you. Out of everyone in her life, her friends, her family, the people who have known her for years, she looked at you and thought, I want him to be one of my safe places. That is not a small thing. That is enormous. That is her handing you one of the most vulnerable parts of herself and saying, I trust you with this. Most people in her life got that trust over years. You're getting the offer early because she's invested. Because something about you made her feel like you could hold it. Don't drop it. Here's what dropping it looks like. It looks like getting visibly uncomfortable when she cries. It looks like immediately jumping to solutions before she's finished talking. It looks like saying, "You shouldn't feel that way," or "I think you're overreacting," or "Have you tried just not thinking about it?" It looks like checking your phone. It looks like giving her 5 minutes and then steering the conversation somewhere easier. Every single one of those things teaches her the same lesson. He can't hold this. Don't bring the real stuff to him. And once she learns that lesson, she stops unlearning it. She starts editing herself around you, showing you the manageable emotions and hiding the real ones. And slowly, without either of you planning it, you become someone she has fun with instead of someone she actually knows. The distance doesn't happen because people fall out of love. It happens because one person stopped feeling safe enough to be real. So when she asks if she can talk to you when she's upset, the answer isn't just yes. The answer is how you show up when she actually does. Sit down, put the phone away, look at her, not with the face of someone waiting for their turn to give advice. With the face of someone who has nowhere else to be. Don't try to fix it immediately. Fixing it immediately tells her you're uncomfortable with her pain and you want it to stop. What she needs is someone who can just be in it with her for a few minutes without flinching. Ask her, "Do you want me to just listen, or do you want my thoughts?" That one question changes everything because it tells her you're paying attention to what she needs instead of defaulting to what makes you comfortable. And when she talks, just listen, really listen. The kind of listening where you remember what she said and you bring it up later unprompted. The kind where you don't interrupt. The kind where she finishes and feels lighter just because the words left her body and landed somewhere that held them. That's it. That's all she's asking for. Not solutions, not silver linings, not a reminder that other people have it worse. Just, "I'm here, I've got you. You don't have to carry this alone right now." 4 words that change everything. And she will never forget the first time you said them and actually meant them.